तो क्लासेस की रिकॉर्डिंग्स वगैरह हम करेंगे, तो बाद में भी आपको सुनना हो तो आप सुन सकते हैं। श्री श्री राधा कृष्णाभ्याम नमः। कृष्णमुपासितुम् अस्य सृजमिव नामावलिं तनवै त्वरितं वितरेदेशा तत्साहित्यादि जामुदम। तो हिंदी इंग्लिश मिक्स रखेंगे, इंग्लिश भी चल सकता है, हिंदी आपको आती है सबको। तो जीव गोस्वामी, just like any other scripture, also considered Harinamamrit Vyakaranam to be a scripture. So he begins with the Mangalacharanam verses, the invocatory verses, before he actually begins the sutras, the grammatical portion. So Jiva Goswami is saying that he's compiling this book uh, primarily in order to worship Krishna. Krishnam upasitum. See, this is grammar, but for the devotees, whether they do anything, their primary objective is to worship Krishna. And then the commentary says, then studying grammar is actually the secondary purpose of Harinamamrita Vyakaranam. Even while studying Harinamamrita Vyakaranam, understanding the principles, the concepts of grammar remains secondary, and worshipping Krishna remains the primary reason. Such are the mood of the devotees. So, Jiva Goswami is saying, Krishnam upasitum. In order to worship Krishna, asya namavalim srajam iva tanavai. I'm compiling this garland, srajam, garland like, so just like garland made up of flowers. So this garland of Harinama Amrit Vyakaranam is made up of the holy names of the Lord. Namavali, the series of the names of the Lord. Avali is series of Nama, the names. And when one studies such grammar, such Namavali, Harinama Amrit Vyakaranam, what will happen is Tat Sahitya Adija Amodam. We will be able to relish the scriptures, Sahitya, the Grantha, more, and will derive bliss out of it. Amod. Amod means happiness, bliss. So one will derive bliss by studying scriptures with the help of such grammar. Tat Sahitya Adi Ja. Ja means born. Amoda is prasannata, is bliss. So Jiva Goswami is saying, Esha Tvaritam Vitarit. That's why this Vidya, this knowledge, Harinamamrita Vyakaranam, should be distributed. This knowledge of grammar should be distributed so that everyone can derive that bliss by studying about Krishna or by being in association with Krishna. Sahitya also means association, direct association, Tat Sahitya. Or Tat Sahitya can also means studying the scriptures related to Krishna. Both the meanings are correct. So the translation says, to worship Krishna, I will compose as a garland for him a Namavali, a set of his own sweet names. This Namavali will quickly bestow the types of bliss derived from being with Krishna, from poetry about Krishna, and from other things that pertain to him. Now, someone may ask Jiva Goswami, because prior to Jiva Goswami, composed this Harinamamrita Vyakaranam, there were already many grammatical systems present, like Panini, Mugdhabodha, Saraswata, Kalapa, ityadi. So someone may ask that, oh Jiva Goswami, why are you writing another system when there are already many available, right? And Jiva Goswami himself went through, he studied all of those systems, most of them. So then Jiva Goswami replies, Ahat jalpita jatitam drishtva shabdanushasana stomam harinamavali valitam vyakaranam vaishnavartham achinmaha. He's saying that after seeing drishtva, all kinds of grammatical systems. Shabdanushasana stomam. Stomam refers to multitude, group. So all the grammatical systems, after observing, analyzing them, drishtva, he saw two major faults in them or flaws in them. One, jalpita. Second, jatitam. Jalpa is like prajalpa, useless mundane talks. For devotees or in factuality, anything, any talk without Krishna, without God in it, is prajalpa, right? So all the other grammars, they were devoid of any mention about the God, about Krishna, to be direct. That's why they are all jalpita, full of useless talks, useless definitions, useless examples, meaningless terminologies. So that's one thing. Second is jatitam. Just like we see the matted locks, the jatas, the presentation is so complicated that it's very difficult to enter, first of all, and then to understand, assimilate, and then to come out of that grammar. So overall, the presentation, the method is quite complex in other systems. So seeing these two things, Jalpitam and Jatitam, then Jiva Goswami compiled this Harinama Avali Valitam Vyakaranam, the Harinama Amrita Vyakaranam. And who's the target audience? Of course, it's for everyone, but it's mainly for the devotees, Vaishnavartham, for the sake of the devotees. He's saying, I'm compiling this for devotees, for Vaishnavas. I mean, devotees can be devotees of Devi Ma, devotees of Lord Shiva, devotees of Ganesha. But no, Vishnor Bhaktaha iti Vaishnavaha. Vishnor idam iti Vaishnava. No, he's saying, I'm compiling this for the devotees of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Sometimes I see devotees, they are quite confused whether they go for Panini study or they study Harinama Amrit Vyakaranam, right? Because Panini is quite rampant all over. And some devotees, they also consider studying Panini, which is fine, because, yeah, Panini has been in existence before Harinama Amrit Vyakaranam, and it's more authorized also, I mean, from social point of view. Even our acharyas, they have quoted Panini a lot because it existed before Jiva Goswami, right? And Jiva Goswami came after. So, so devotees sometimes ask whether they should study Panini or Harinamamrit Vyakaranam. So my response is simple. Because see, it's not philosophy that I believe in God and you don't believe in God. It's a concept. It's like mathematics. 1 + 1 is 2. So even Panini or Harinamamrit, both they share, they convey the same mathematics, the same formulas, the Sanskrit rules. 1 + 1 = 2. So I would say that ultimately gaining the knowledge of grammar is important. So whatever best teacher you get, that is my understanding. You know, whatever best teacher you get for whichever subject, for Panini or for Harinamamrita, go for it. You know, you should have a proper teacher, and then if it is a Panini teacher you have, then Panini, and if you have a Harinamamrita Vyakranam teacher, then you go for Harinamamrita. But going beyond that, a level up, when it comes to loyalty, then devotees should stick to the Gaudias, should stick to Harinamamrita Vyakranam. That's another understanding I possess. Because Jiva Goswami being our Acharya, when he's saying that I'm compiling for devotees, so we should, devotees means us who are in his parampara. So we should take advantage, we should avail of whatever he has done for us. So then Harinamamrita supersedes any other systems, at least for us, for the devotees, for aspiring devotees. So that's one thing. The adhikaris, the devotees are the adhikaris. Actually, I was thinking that, you know, the non-devotees won't study Harinamamrita Vyakaranam. Why? Because they don't have the faith in the holy name itself. That the holy name can purify them, the holy name can liberate them, can get them moksha, liberation. So when they don't have faith in the holy name in its primary function, then how can they put their faith in the holy name for its secondary purpose, which is to study grammar through holy name? You see, जब उनको प्राथमिक जो हरि नाम का महात्म्य है उसी पर विश्वास नहीं है, तो उसी हरि नाम के माध्यम से कुछ गौण कार्य संपन्न करना, व्याकरण समझना, वो उनकी तो श्रद्धा होगी ही नहीं। तो ये सिर्फ वैष्णव ही पढ़ सकते हैं क्योंकि उनकी हरि नाम में अटूट श्रद्धा है। दे हैव सच faith in holy name. He doesn't stop here. He continues the discussion of the other grammar versus Harinamamrit Vyakaranam, and he says, Vyakarane marunivritti जीवन लुब्धा सदाघ संविघ्नाः हरिनामामृतमेतत् पिबन्तु शतधाव गाहन्ताम्. He's comparing Sanskrit grammar as a subject or all the other systems to a desert, region of desert, Maru. So just like a thirsty person, he tries looking for water in a desert region. Similarly, those who are looking for bliss by studying other grammatical systems, they will only attain sada, what? Agha. They will only attain parishrama, just labor. And they will only be distressful, nothing else. Just like a person looking for water, he doesn't attain water, just the parishrama, the labor only. So that's why Jiva Goswami is inviting, Agachatu, Agachatu, come, Etat Harinamamritam Pibantu. Come and drink this nectar of the holy names of the Lord, this Harinamamrit Vyakaranam. Drink once, twice, thrice, drink 100 of times, Shatadha. Shatadha. And if you're not satiated even drinking 100 of times, then avagahantam. Then you dive deep into it. Take a dive into it. Let those who hanker for water in the desert of Sanskrit grammar and who are therefore constantly beset with difficulties drink the nectar of Lord Hari's names, and let them dive into this nectar again and again. So in this way, Jiva Goswami is answering the objection, the possible objection, that why another grammar when a series of grammars existed before Harinamamrita Vyakaranam. Now, one last possible objection could be that, O Jiva Goswami, the primary purpose of holy name, the purpose of holy name is to awake, to arise Krishna Prema, love of God. Then won't it be considered an aparadh, an offense, to use the holy name not to arise Krishna Prema, but to study grammar? Won't it be considered like an offense? Then Jiva Goswami, he quotes from 6th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, the last Mangalacharanam verse, Sanketyam parihasyam va, stobham helanam eva va, Vaikuntha nama grahanam asheshagharam viduhu. This is from Ajamila Prasanga. That even one who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly, jokingly, for musical entertainment, or neglectfully. This is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scriptures. Jiva Goswami says, yes, true, that the primary purpose is to arise Krishna Prema. But even if the holy name is chanted with a secondary purpose, let's say, indirectly, jokingly, musically, or neglectfully, even then, there is no offense. Rather, the chanter, the person who is uttering the name, will be relieved of unlimited sins and the reactions pertaining to them. So that's the boon, the great advantage of chanting Krishna's names, even indirectly. So Jiva Goswami does um, quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam, and he satisfies all the possible objections regarding Harinamamrit Vyakaranam. Now, in India, if you go to places like Rishikesh, Vrindavan, Haridwar, Ayodhya, like that. So, the salt, salt is called Ramras, if you have ever heard. The salt is called Ramras. They will call salt Ramras. Now, Ram is originally Krishna's name, Lord Rama's name, but they have imposed that name on that object called salt. So this is an example of Sanketyam, Sanket. This is an indirect use of the holy names to indicate something else. So this grammar also will be employing the Sanketyam aspect out of these four. The holy names will be used indirectly in this Sanketyam category. We'll use Krishna's names to indicate some letters, some groups. For example, a, I, u, ri, e, I, o. These are the swara varnas, the vowels in Sanskrit. Now, Jiva Goswami will name all the vowels as Sarveshwaras. Generally, they are called swara. They are called swara varnas. But Jiva Goswami will use the term Sarveshwara. And Sarveshwara in Harinamamrit means all the vowels. A, I, ityadi. So this is how Jiva Goswami will use Krishna's names to indicate, letters and so on. Okay, so that was the whole Mangala Charanam. There are few commentaries here, so that's upon you. You can go through them. Anything till now? We are done with the Mangala Charanam. Okay. Now, Harinamamrit Vyakaranam has 7 chapters. First of all, before beginning this, originally Harinamamrit Vyakaranam was written in around 700 sutras, and that is called Laghu Harinamamrit Vyakaranam. So some say that it was written by Jiva Goswami, and some say that it was written by Rupa Goswami originally. We have two opinions. Laghu Harinamamrit Vyakaranam. And then Jiva Goswami started teaching it, and then he noticed that, oh, it's becoming a little difficult. It was too compact. So he, increased the size of the sutras to make it easy to teach, to study. So he compiled the Brihat Harinamamrit Vyakaranam, which has around 3200 sutras. Panini Ashtadhyayi has 4000 sutras. And our Harinamamrit Vyakaranam, Brihat one, has around 3200 sutras. So Jiva Goswami would teach it to his students. So the Acharya Traya, the Prabhu Traya, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Shyamanand Pandit, they all studied Harinamamrit Vyakaranam from Jiva Goswami. This is not our first batch. I believe that was the first batch, the Prabhu Traya, who studied Harinamamrit from Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami actually compiled Harinamamrit Vyakaranam following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Nimai Pandit, so he would teach Sanskrit in Navadvip, in the toll system, the toll, they used to tell it a toll. Not the English one, but maybe the Bangla or the Sanskrit or the Hindi toll. Like a teacher underneath a tree, teaching to some students, like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would implement Krishna's names, examples from Krishna's Leela while teaching Sanskrit. So keeping that mood, Jiva Goswami compiled the whole system itself. So this Harinamamrit Vyakaranam actually, you can say, is the style or the methodology of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaching Sanskrit. What greater than this? When Srila Prabhupada went from India to America, so he was in Boston 1964, 65 initially. And then he was staying in a flat with two boys. One was David, I believe, another one I forgot. And even before commencing ISKCON as an institution, the initial days, no one showing up literally. He tried teaching Sanskrit to those two boys. It's mentioned in Lilamrita, Prabhupada Lilamrita. And I was wondering, wow, I mean, he could have taught a lot of other subjects, but he was trying to teach Sanskrit. So our parampara is such, the acharyas have been in touch in studying and in teaching Sanskrit. So this is fully authentic, and devotees should actually go for it. I would say devotees who are Brahmanically inclined. I won't say all the devotees. That would be unfair. So devotees who are Brahmanically inclined, they should actually go for studying Harinama Vritvyakanam or Sanskrit. So now Brihat version was there, and then we had the ISKCON BBT Sanskrit school in Govardhan earlier. ISKCON BBT Sanskrit school. So that was led by His Grace Gopi Prandhan Prabhuji, who completed Srimad Bhagavatam after Srila Prabhupada. Um, so he was leading that school, and then after him, there was a devotee, Matsya Avatar Prabhuji. Then he ran the school in Govardhan, and then they also shifted to Vrindavan. Then, when they noticed that it's very difficult for devotees to commit for such a long course, 32, 3300 sutras, I personally studied the Brihat one, 3200 sutras. And it took me, to be exact, 5 years or 4.5 years to complete the whole Brihat version. And I was studying regularly every day, like college studies. So now, if we do study Brihat one and do twice a week session, just so it will take 8, 9, 10 years for us to complete the Brihat one. That's out of our level, I believe. So that's why Matsyatta Prabhu and the team they compiled this Madhyama version, which has around 1280, 1300 sutras, so that devotees can understand the grammar and they can implement and start studying, reading the commentaries, the scriptures nicely. So they were teaching this Harinama Mrityavyakanam, the Madhyama version, in 2 years, I've heard. And they also taught regular basis, like daily basis, not like once, twice in a week. So within my experience, I tried teaching Brihat and I tried teaching Madhyama. So I noticed more success rate in Madhyama. So that's why I go with Madhyama with most of my batches and students. So that's why I will be focusing on the Madhyama one. Okay. Now this grammar has 7 chapters. First chapter is Sangya and Sangya and Sandhi. Second chapter is Nam Prakaranam. Third is Dhatu. Fourth is Karaka. Fifth is Kridanta. Sixth is Samasa. And then Tadhita. These are the 7 chapters. Sangya means definitions, like name giving. This will be called this, that will be called that, you know, terminologies. Sandhi means when we combine words, so the changes, the transformations in 2 letters, like Krishna and Arjuna becomes Krishna Arjuna, like that. Nama is about the nouns. Dhatu is about the verbs. Karaka is the usages of nouns and verbs in which meanings, where, which tense, and so on. Kridanta is participle in English. Basically, in more easy words, it's when we convert when we convert verbs into nouns. We convert verbs into nouns. So that's chapter 5. Very interesting chapter. Samasa is well known, compounding. When we turn two or more words into a single word, a single unit. For example, Achyuta Chaitanya Das, three words. But if we see grammatically, technically, so Achyuta Chaitanya Das, it's a compound. It's a compound word. Samasa. We'll discuss more about all these eventually. Tadhita is
Tadhita is
modified noun.
modified noun.
I think when you're
When you are
uh,
uh,
Prabhu, Achyut Chaitanya Prabhu, when you are unmuting yourself, I'm hearing myself back. I don't know why. Tadhita is modified noun, meaning, let's say, mm, we have the word Pritha, which is one name of Kunti Maharani. So from Pritha, we get Partha, son of Kunti, son of Pritha. So we had one noun, Pritha, and we derived another modified noun from it. So that's from the Tadhita chapter, the seventh chapter. So this is the whole overview of all the seven chapters in very brief form. And we'll be beginning with chapter 1. See, there are two ways of studying grammar. Nowadays, hardly anyone they go for studying in a proper way. When I say proper way, meaning with the sutras. Everyone they are trying to teach and try to study without sutras. That is also good, but it's not all inclusive and it's less efficient. But studying this proper way, sutra way, is the most authorized, most efficient way of studying grammar. So chapter 1 is Sangya Sandhi Prakaranam. So divided into two parts. One is Sangya Prakaranam, second is Sandhi Prakaranam. The word Prakaranam means chapter, Adhyay. Prakaranam is equal to Adhyay, chapter. So Sangya is terminology and Sandhi is phonetic combinations. Now the presentation of this book is, so they have given the sutra in Devanagari first, as you can see here, Narayana Adbhuta Varnakrama. Then they have given the English transliteration of the same sutra, like BBT books. Then the word meanings are given, right, for each sutra. Then the translation in English of the sutra. Then there is this Sanskrit commentary given for each sutra in English with diacritics. So this commentary is also done by Jiva Goswami. This commentary is also done by Jiva Goswami. It's called Vritti. Sutra is also done by Jiva Goswami, and this commentary is also done by Jiva Goswami. And then the translation of Vritti is given, English translation. All glories to Matsyav Prabhu and team. They have compiled this whole book. So we are very grateful to them for this contribution. Matsyav Prabhu is a recent Prabhuji. He's still living, with us. He's in Australia, I believe, currently. So apart from Vritti, we have three more commentaries. One is called Amrita, one is called Bal, and another is called Sangshodhini. Amrita, Bal, and Sangshodhini. Amrita and Bal are the commentaries. They were done by some acharyas like years ago, centuries ago, actually. And Sangshodhani is the commentary by Matsyav Prabhu. So, so whenever the commentators they considered, so they have given some commentary to make the meaning of the sutras easy. We may have commentaries in some sutra, we may not have some commentaries in some sutras. It's not like mandatory that we have to have commentaries, no. Okay. So, yeah, so that's the whole pattern. For example, I think we don't have Amrita Bala here, so we just have Sangshodhani. Okay, we have Amrita, we do have Amrita. So in this way, this is the whole pattern of the book. So when we complete Sutra 1, then comes Sutra 2, similarly Sutra 3, 4, and so on. Now, most of the times or sometimes the commentaries are too overwhelming. Like too much of information, over information is there. So it would be better to neglect them at times, just to save us from extra over information. Okay, we'll just do one sutra and we'll resume tomorrow. Narayanad udbhutoyam varna kramaha. This series of varnas, the Sanskrit alphabet, appeared from Narayana. The source of all the letters alphabet, a, I, I, ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, ityadi, is Lord Narayana. In Panini, they say they all came from the Damaru of Lord Shiva. Uh, Jiva Goswami is saying that it appeared from Lord Narayana. Uh, so the alphabets are given here: a, I, u, ri, a, I, o, ang, ah, and the consonants ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, cha, cha, ja, cha, nya, ta, tha, da, dhana, ta, ta, da, dhana, pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, ha. So I would request you to memorize these letters in the sequence given here exactly. This is very important throughout the grammar. And tomorrow we'll discuss about the pronunciations of these letters. That's also one little section in the book. Okay. So two homeworks you have. One, to memorize these letters in the same order, the sequence given here. This ksha is not a separate letter, so just neglect it. Just neglect it. So one is to memorize these in the order given. Second is, please memorize the first 10 sutras for tomorrow. First 10 sutras. Narayana Bhutoyam Varnakrama is one. Then similarly, Tatradau Chaturdasha Sarveshwara is second. In this way, memorize these 10 sutras plus all the letters in the sequence given. So we'll stop here. I'm just working on how to get the Zoom Premium. So most probably I'll get it by tomorrow. So yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. If anything you want to say, you can say, or maybe in the group or tomorrow. Same time tomorrow.
Prabhuji, you will be sharing the recording?
Yes, yes. I will post it and share the links.
Okay, thank you.
Just in brief, as you said, this is a Madhyama version. So how the specific sutras are selected so that it would be helpful to like
Yeah,
understand
you
other
read.
things as
Okay,
well.
this meeting is gonna end. If we end, then we can resume
Yeah.
tomorrow. You can read the introduction of this book. They have mentioned there.